Hey, what's good YouTube? Travysty here, and today we are here against the LA Doublades, led by the Toxic Gaming, our good friend Carson. And today, the Carolina Castforms have something important. Now, today is a very special day. If you guys may have noticed, for the past 2 weeks, there have not been any PIC battles on Thursday. This is not because the league died or anything like that. If you keep up with the PIC, you would notice that battles are still going on, and it's not that I have stopped uploading. The past 2 weeks, we've actually had two very unfortunate things happen. One, the Joseph, who is the coach of the Chester Chinsows, I think is the name of the team, decided to forfeit and I believe retire from league battles, which is his choice, and I respect his decision. But because of that, we did end up picking a forfeit win off of that week. Unfortunate, I know, but because I definitely wanted to actually go against him because I know he hadn't been having the best of luck, but I did think that he could definitely pull something out because he had a pretty good draft and he has some pretty good mons in there. So I was definitely ready for him, but unfortunately that battle never got to come into fruition. Like I said, nothing more I want to say about that subject. Best of luck to whatever he does. I know he's still making LPs and stuff, and he's just focusing on LP content, I believe. But best of luck for him, for sure. Next week we had to go against. Well, actually, no. I think we went against Rosebuds. Yeah, we went against Rosebuds of Sled. So it hasn't been 2 weeks. We've off a week, battled a week, off a week. It's weird. We battled Rosebuds of Sled. If you haven't watched the battle, go ahead and watch it right now because spoiler alert, we got the 4-0. And so yeah, we got that. And then next week we were supposed to go against the Detroit Steel Wings. If you guys follow the GBA at all, you would know him as Crimson Seabad. He is the coach of the Detroit Steel Wings, and he actually won via forfeit on that. Unfortunately, life happens. Honestly, I'm not upset about it. The only thing I was sad that I wasn't able to go against Crimson because he was one of the people I was definitely looking forward to going against. But unfortunately, that is another forfeit. So this is actually our last battle of the PIC. If we do not win, well, it's our last battle of the season because after this one, we actually have our bye week. We had 11 teams scheduled, so the schedule goes with a bye week. So I will actually have a bye week next week while the rest of the teams finalize their win-loss records. So this week I will actually be finalizing my win-loss, which I'm actually fine with because settling my win-loss early, I can just sit back and relax and watch the other battles. I actually have longer to prep, actually, which is something very interesting. So yeah, but that's only if I was to get into playoffs. Now, without further ado, we are going into this battle right now, and of course, you guys see I am on the other side just because Showdown doesn't let me flip things around. I decided to bring defensive Drudgegon for his Mega Pinsir. Victini not so much. Victini actually, fun fact, will kill defensive Drudgegon pretty easily, and I believe it does get access to Dazzling Gleam, so I didn't really think of it as a counter to that. It does deal decently with the freaking Spirit Tomb, not too much. And he brought Mamoswine, which this mod doesn't do anything to Mamoswine. I should have planned for it a little bit better, but I didn't plan well for it at all. Next, I got Specs Tornadus T. Specs Tornadus T honestly just hits his team super hard while outspeeding everything on his team except for Victini. Then we've got Mega Metagross. We've got defensive leftovers Mandibuzz with Foul Play. I ran Foul Play just because it literally puts in so much work against this team because nothing on this team really can OHKO Mandibuzz. Then we got Kecleon, which is an Assault Vest Kecleon, because Assault Vest Kecleon actually can take out his Thunderous T that he has sitting in the back, but he didn't bring it, unfortunately. He could also take on a special variant of Victini, and it also can kill Victini with Sucker Punch. So I thought, hey, this thing's probably going to be Scarfed or a V or Banded. One of those three. So it's going to be an offensive move it locks itself into. And Kecleon will be fine with being able to just lock itself into Sucker Punch and kill off this monster. And then we brought Weavile. Fun fact, Weavile is actually Scarfed with just enough speed investment to be able to outspeed a Thunderous Eye. I was really prepped for Thunderous Eye in this match, if you haven't been able to tell. But yeah, Weavile is Scarfed, so it will literally outspeed everything on his team, and nothing on his team really appreciates Weavile. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this battle, as he's actually going to lead Mamoswine, and I'm going to lead Druddigon. I lead Druddigon here because I look at his team, and he only has a Spinner and Tentacle, and I have multiple ways to get rid of that in terms of Thundurus and in terms of Mega Metagross. So I want to get rocks up no matter what. So we're going to go ahead and start off. He's going to lead Icicle Crash. I'm bobbing and weaving. I get my rocks up. No damage. And I don't have a switch in for Icicle Crash, so I'm just going to stay in. And I really wish I Sucker Punched right here. I went for Roar, which was a really bad play on my part. I was carrying Roar to go for the phase. I really wish I just Sucker Punched right there because this thing is obviously the Sash lead. And if I would have just, went with my gut and Sucker Punched, I went for War thinking that he might have wanted to go for his own rock, seeing that I only had a Defogger. I just really should have played that better, got the chip off, and made it so I could have knocked this thing out instantly. So with that being said, I have to go out into Mega Metagross here. I know I can tank an Earthquake from this thing, as he does go for that, and I know Meteor Mash will actually be able to knock this thing down to 0.1, and he actually is going to save this thing because he does have a Spinner still, and I'm going to actually predict this and go for the Ice Punch. I had no reason not to go for Ice Punch here because it literally hits everything on his team except for the Victini super hard, and the Victini was the only thing I could have thought of that could have possibly wanted to come in. I mean, he could have gone Tentacruel, but I could Zen Headbutt. I am Psychic, and Zen Headbutt is a very common thing to bring. But I'm at plus 1.5. There's no way anything was going to really take that. So he decides to sacrifice his Rotom to this mon. I think he might have been thinking I might have gone for a Meteor Mash and tried to go for a Willow on this. Definitely could see that. But unfortunately, he's not able to do that. Rot's going to go onto this. He's going to Sucker Punch right here is what I'm predicting. So I'm going to go out into Kecleon because I know Kecleon will outspeed and be able to hurt this thing. And I am actually just going to lock myself into Knockoff. Which I do get a crit, which is nice, but I found out this thing is super freaking bulky. I always forget how bulky this little thing is. Like, I always expect it to be super frail just by looking at it. So he's actually going to go for the Pain Split right here, which I don't really mind, honestly. Tornadus is here. He gets critted, which is unfortunate. I'm going to go for the Air Slash. That's really unfortunate because I think without the crit I could have just stayed in and Air Slashed him again. But now he gets the Pain Split again. And if I Air Slashed right there, actually, I would have been able to do something. I'm going to Rock Slide right here as he goes for another Pain Split. We don't trade any HP off of that. I'm just sacking Kecleon right now. Just because of the fact that it's not going to do me any good while it's burned. I'm going to go back into Tornadus. Tornadus gets his Regenerator, so it gets some HP back. He's going to Sucker Punch again, but I know I'm not in range. I'm going to Air Slash and just kill this thing off because I need this thing gone. So he's going to go out into Tentacruel right here, and I'm predicting for him to actually either Rapid Spin or Scald right here. And I think Rapid Spin is the more likely of the options. But the possibility for Scald is there, and I'm just like, oh, please don't Scald me, bro. Don't Scald me. He could also go for a Sludge Bomb here or a Sludge Wave, whichever one he prefers to go for, and that would be very troublesome for me. I do believe he's carrying the Sludge Bomb. Just because of the fact that I do have Clefable in my draft, and he definitely needs to have something to deal with it. So I'm going to go out into Mega Metagross, and he does go for the Scald, and he doesn't get the burn, and I do live it, so I'm completely happy with that because I know I outspeed. I'm going to go for the Zen Headbutt because I know that is 100% OHKO. And now I am still in here. He's actually Mold Breaker. Fun fact. I was actually trying to figure out what he was going to do, and I thought this Pinsir was actually going to be a Moxie, the way he was going to throw it out. But then I saw the Mold Breaker flash, and I was just like, oh, wait, hold up. So yeah, if he brought Motzi, that would have been definitely something very interesting because that was definitely a chance for him to bring in Motzi. There's no point in him bringing Hypercutter because I don't have an Intimidate user on my team. So I'm gonna go out into Mandibuzz just because that's honestly my best thing, and I do not want to let Mega Metagross go down because it still outspeeds the Mamoswine and all that other stuff. So he's gonna go for return here, and it's gonna do 47%. I'm gonna go for the foul play, and after that, I do live another return no matter what, unless he like crits me. So I'm gonna go for another foul play and kill this thing out. Now that's a big threat gone. Now it's one of those things where, if you look at how my team is, I made a huge mistake in team building around the Mamoswine, but I was able to make up with that mistake by being able to play around it. Just by the fact that I was able to let Druddigon go down, and then also I was able to use Mega Metagross to take care of it, even though unfortunately Mega Metagross had to take way more damage than it needed to. It was still able to make sure I could check the Mamoswine because that Mamoswine was a threat. So, with this being said, I have Rocks Up, and the most important thing about Druddigon getting Rocks Up was this very moment right here. Now, not only did Pinsir take a lot of damage coming in to the Rocks, he has a Victini, and Victini does not appreciate rocks. And this Victini is either locked into something or AV. And I'm believing, looking at the makeup of his team, it is a Scarf set, which automatically means I win. So I just literally stay in on this U-turn right here, which means Mandibuzz does go down. He sacrifices Mamoswine, but he has to take even more rocks damage. So I can go out into my Scarf Weavile and just click knockoff, and this thing will die. This is an adamant knockoff, I believe, with an item and all that good stuff. As you can see, he did end up being scarfed. It's one of those things where bringing Scarf Weavile was probably the best decision I could have made. It was actually a last-minute addition to the team, too. I originally had Dugtrio for trapping Victini, but I'm definitely glad I brought the Weavile because it allowed me to ensure myself to clean up. Like, the only threat I had after everything was said and done was the Pinsir Quick Attack. I don't know if that would have killed. I am frail. I didn't do the calcs, so it probably would have killed. But as long as I checked the Pinsir, then Weavile honestly just cleaned up and killed everything. And the fact that I was able to keep it healthy and not throw it away really was a pivotal moment. So if you guys enjoyed this week's battle, be sure to hit that like button because now your Carolina Castforms have a... I just want to put this in perspective for you guys. I competed in Season 1. And beating Carson was probably the happiest moment I've had in all of my league battles. One, because Carson's a good friend. I always enjoy being able to talk to the dude. Dude's really cool and is a very chill, down-to-earth dude. But not only that, I went against every single person that came back to the PIC from Season 1 actually beat me. I had no wins against any of the people that returned from Season 1. And that was something that was definitely weighing on me at the very beginning of the season, was I never beat Jim. I never beat Judy. I never beat Carson. I never beat Dan. And there was definitely... some nervousness whenever I had to go against these guys. Dan freaking always terrifies me. Jim always terrifies me. Carson always terrifies me. Judy especially terrifies me. I don't... Dude, Judy doesn't... It's like me and Judy have each other's number in a way, I guess. Like, I can scare Judy and he scares the living crap out of me, so... But I've had great matches against all of these guys, and I've actually been able to win. And that was a huge confidence boost for me to come back in and be able to say, hey, I was able to come back from Season 1 as one of the bottom tier teams, and now I am finishing the second season 8-2. Boy, we are locked in for playoffs. There's no way at this point that we can get knocked out of playoffs because there's only two teams that have two losses, I believe, right now, and the rest of them have more than two. So there's only one more week of playing, so they can't knock me or the. I don't believe the other guy can not get knocked out, which would be the Cape bots. I don't know how the season's going to work for playoffs, guys. I'll be sure to give out an update. I'm sure we'll have some sort of update to go out when the playoff schedule and how it works. Personally, I hope I get to go against the Cape bots because I want revenge for the 6-0 that I was delivered at the very beginning of the season. I want my revenge. I want it so bad. But that's not out of my control. But without further ado, this has been Travysty, the coach of the Carolina Castforms. Be sure to subscribe to join YouTube's greatest Travysty. And be sure to tune in for the forecast next Thursday. I'll probably try and put up something for you guys. Tell me what you guys would like to see below. Since I will have a bye week. Anyways, thank you guys again for watching. Peace. I'm out.